Hey guys, so today I'm here with my most disappointing books of 2016. Now just a disclaimer, if you liked these books, that's great for you. I just didn't personally like them. I'm not trying to hate on these books or anything, because I'm sure for some people, they just were not for me. So don't be upset or anything if I put one of your favorite books on this list, because you very well might like it. Some of these books are actually really, really popular books that people love, but they just weren't for me. I've separated into two different categories. The first category is books that I didn't necessarily hate, but I just had way higher expectations than what was met. And most of these I think I gave around 3 stars or so, but 3 or 3.5 stars, but I was just expecting them to be more like 5-star books, and then they just kind of let me down. The first one on this list is The Siren by Kiera Cass. If you don't know, Kiera Cass wrote the Selection series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. And I was really, really excited to read this one. This was actually the first book she wrote. She wrote it before the Selection series, and she self-published it, but then it recently got published by HarperCollins. I was really, really excited about this book. It's about sirens. For whatever reason, I just didn't really like the plot. The characters were okay, but I just wasn't a big fan of the siren plot. It was just kind of a disappointing read for me. It was definitely not as good as her Selection series. So if you're looking for something by Kiera Cass, don't start with this one. Next one on this list is The Lies About Truth by Courtney C. Stevens. She wrote Faking Normal, which was one of my favorite books of last year. I think it was on my favorites list. And I was really, really excited that she came out with this new book. But for whatever reason, I just had a really hard time connecting with the characters, and I just didn't really love the plot. And I thought I was going to like it because it sounds like it's right up my alley. It's about a girl who is in a car crash that I think kills some of her friends, and she's having to cope with that. And I really like realistic fiction books, but this one just wasn't for me. I definitely liked Faking Normal a lot more. This next one I think is on a lot of people's list, and this is probably the most unpopular one, but it is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne and supposedly J.K. Rowling, although I don't think she had much say in this because it just didn't feel like, it felt like fan fiction. I know a lot of people have said that, but a lot of the things the characters did just didn't seem like those characters. They completely just threw everything that we know about time travel out the window and just completely made up this plot that had nothing to do with how time travel worked in the books. And it felt a lot like fan fiction, like I was reading fan fiction. And I know some of the problems I had with this might be solved by seeing the play, but there were just so many plot holes, and just the characters just did not seem like the characters that I love, so I don't know how it would be better in a play, but maybe it would. Just was disappointing. It was just not what I expected it to be. The next one on this list is The Copper Gauntlet by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Magisterium series, the first one being The Iron Trial, and I really, really liked The Iron Trial. It reminded me a lot of Harry Potter, so I was really excited to see how it continued, and this one just was not as good as the first one. The plot was just kind of all over the place, and it just felt kind of rushed. And I do want to continue on with the series, but this one just was not my favorite, and was really let down after how much I liked the first one. And this next category was books that I just disliked. I didn't necessarily have high expectations or low expectations. I kind of just read them and they just were not very good. I just didn't like them much at all. First one is Mosquitoland by David Arnold. I really thought I was going to like this one because it's about a road trip, and I love road trip books, but I just didn't really like the characters. I didn't really like the plot that much. It was kind of all over the place. I just didn't really enjoy this book very much. So yeah, that's why this one's on this list. The next book is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This one I wasn't necessarily planning on reading, but it came in my uppercase box, so of course I had to read it. And I just didn't really like it. I can't exactly explain why. I wasn't a big fan of the monsters plot. The characters I think were okay, but I don't know, I just had a hard time connecting with it, and I just didn't really like it that much. And the last book on this list was definitely my least favorite book of the whole year, and that was The Square Root of Summer by Harriet Ruder Hapgood. I was kind of excited for this because I heard it was about quantum physics and science-y stuff, but I just didn't get it. It was just all over the place again. The characters were just not, I just didn't connect with them. The plot, I don't even really know what it was about. It was kind of just all over the place, and I just was not a fan of this book at all. And so that's all my most disappointing books of 2016. Which books did you read in 2016 that were disappointing? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye!